This is a replay from SirLimbo, who's joined me in the broadcast booth and is going to be putting this up on his YouTube. So he's got full permissions to do that. Let's go. We'll jump into the replay. It's up against a player named Till, who I think I've seen in tournaments. SirLimbo said he's never faced him before, so here we are. We're going to have the choice between Cost Control Specialist, Farseer, Speed, and Saber. Arc and okay, you took the Farseer with Fang and Stormcaller. So we've got a good Fang start. Opponent Aerial Elite took the Quick Supply. We're gonna Control T over so that we're seeing the SirLimbo perspective of this.
I should also mention a bit of context in that sense. I
Sure.
have absolutely been enjoying Fang gaming aggro defense, especially into Spider aggro. Once you just add on the hackers, it just goes over in 2 rounds, basically. It is
Right.
amazing. And
Right.
this game is going to be a crazy one because we are Farseer specialists, which means we can give our
Mm-hmm.
Fang some extra range. And
Right.
there is 20 range separating Mustangs and Fangs with equal range upgrades, that is. Which
Right.
means that if we also get, or were to get, say, advanced aiming systems, we could literally match the range of Mustangs with our Fangs. And that
Thanks
is
to
an
the
experiment
Farseer.
I just wanted to take.
Right. Thanks to the Farseer plus 10 and the plus 10 from the power up that you'd have as a card. Opponent comes out with a Tarantula start, Tarantula aggro start, crawlers, Fangs behind, Fang protecting the far side tower. So Fang screen, and kind of a late chaff, well, mid chaff here. We certainly don't look like a Fang carry build with 2 crawlers and 2 Stormcallers at the moment.
Yeah. I think
A traditional.
there's a bit of,
Go ahead.
how should I put this, a bit of nuance, I think, how you have to play this. First of all, since I've never faced this player, I don't know if they're a standard or an aggro player. So
Right.
there was no real point in going full Fang carrier or anything if the opponent's just gonna sit standard behind Stormcallers in round
Right.
or by round 2. Which means that I would, unless it's against a player that I know is going to aggro whatsoever, I would not show my hand in that sense in the first round.
Right. Right.
Stormcallers are just really good against his entire army, basically. So it's not
Right.
even any real risk not dropping additional fangs and trying to go for some speed on that. I will win the first round
Right.
very handsomely, regardless.
Right. Now, a traditional Fang carry, we'd have dropped down Fangs and sold a 200 cost unit, but this is a reactive defensive game. Take the redeploy. Till takes the Rhino Assault, so we've got some kind of problem corners, but yeah, redeploying your storms from the right side to the left makes good sense.
And this is where the fangs come out. I don't know where the rhino is going to drop, but I know that with some crawlers and some fangs, I can very decently delay it.
Yeah, you're going to slow it down. This isn't designed to win. We've talked a lot about the screen fangs on the channel. These screen fangs are not designed to win you fights necessarily. They are designed to buy you enough time that the rest of your army has fought before whatever crazy flank or call in arrives.
And
So in
they
this case, will be
basically
the Rhino.
negate the chance of a phoenix coming in from from behind, sniping both of your towers and losing you 1,200 health and something like that in the mid game.
Yeah,
Uh,
in yeah, round 7 or whatever. They're critical for that.
yeah, you're gonna want them anyway. And I don't think it's anything quote unquote suspicious, even. I mean, it's suspicious that I have another pack of fangs at the front, certainly, but you could also
Right.
just put that down to, well, the guy doesn't want the spiders to instantly move up, and they're kind of the best chaff that I have against spiders right now. Unfortunately,
Right.
the Rhino cleans up the tower and kind of just gets in and kills all the Stormcallers, so this round is not going in my favor. But at the same time, that is a one-time thing that he's probably not going to get many more Rhino drops here.
Right. And if we'd had our fangs vertically in the back, they'd have bought more of them would have stayed there, and they would have bought more time. Same with the crawlers, but this way we've got um, they're closer to the action on all of the rounds where there isn't a drop in on the corner. We get round 3 unit reinforcements with Rhino, Arclight, Fire Badger, and Saber. You take the Rhinos for cell value?
Yes, for cell
Or.
value.
Okay. Yep.
This one is pure
And
cell value because I'm not exactly a Rhino player, but I can definitely get a reaction out of my opponent here. He's going to have to do something if he sees 2 Rhinos in his flank. I also
right.
get the Farseer now that dropped on round 3, which means that I do
Yep.
have a sort of. Can you call this an artillery unit? I think it qualifies as
Yes.
an artillery unit.
Yeah, it qualifies as artillery. Fires every 1.6 seconds, has a 125-meter range. It's shooting guided missiles, so those will actually hit the crawler packs. You don't have to worry about missing the way that your stormcrawlers can overfire. You know, they fire where the crawler is, not where it will be. This guy fires, and it's a guided missile. So beneficial.
My opponent has decided to go for a big push on the other tower with the rhinos that he has. I think he also sold one, or did he? Or did he not? I'm not. I think he kept
It
all
looks like he
3. He
sold one.
doesn't have any sold
Wait,
yet.
yeah, he has not sold yet. He's got a flank in the corner behind
Ah,
you.
that's why I wasn't
So,
seeing it. Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, it's down just off screen here.
Yeah. I go for mech rage here because the fights are happening fairly at point blank range. There isn't really
Yep.
that much purpose in going for range if the opponent is already basically on you. And this way I can just shoot down the crawlers a lot more effectively, deal a lot more damage to other units, and hopefully deal with my opponent. You can see the push on the right coming in, and it's going to be a
Yeah.
pretty painful push, but the amount of time the Fangs and crawlers buy is just insane.
Yeah, they've bought so much time. You're almost on his opposite side
Yep.
tower. You've dealt with this flank already. The even with the debuff, yeah, now we get to the tower right after his debuff ends, and that's just going to let us delete tarantulas during the debuff time.
Yep.
Uh,
And then these rhinos are in big trouble because they have
yeah,
stormcrawlers and Farseer shooting at them, though they are still rhinos. And there's no levels on these units, so they do actually get in, which is kind of unfortunate. But well,
'cause it
unfortunate
costs you
being
your
said.
rhinos too because of the tower debuff.
Mm.
We're left with Tarantula v Fang.
Tarantula v Stormcaller.
Oh,
And that is not a
Tarantula and
matchup the
Fang v
Tarantula
Stormcaller.
likes.
Yeah. No, no. Tarantula and Fang v Stormcaller is what I meant.
The final Stormcaller, we've seen this thing miss so many times, but not this
Yes.
time. At the end of the day, the armies pretty much annihilated each other, and a single Stormcaller is all that remains, and we have advanced offensive tactics, but also advanced aiming system. Basically, the
Yeah.
choice between extra range or extra damage, my opponent chooses neither. I think I went for the advanced aiming system. This
Right.
means
You
that with the
already
Farseer, my Fangs can have 20 extra meters of range over what they normally could have. My
and
opponent
he's gone
is
for the canonically correct answer to Fang Carry, which is Mustang. This is the right answer. But with
definitely.
you taking the extra range and having the Farseer, or the ability to add range from the Farseer search radar tech, you will actually be able to equal his Mustangs for range. He's a round or two late in recognizing where you're going and bringing these out, so you're a lot closer to leveling your fangs too than he is
Yeah.
for these poor Mustangs.
I think it is important not to show your hand in round 1 or 2 if possible. Uh, I think it's important to let your opponent like drop some extra spiders, drop some extra crawlers and that sort of stuff, and then go for the big hammer of the Fang defense. And
Right,
I should mention a bit of how my experiments with this have been going. Yeah, you are correct. I also relocated this rhino to the other side because if he
right,
just beacons these rhinos, my original plan actually was to keep these rhinos from going forward and buy some extra time with a unit that I'm gonna sell anyway. But
right,
with them being mobile beacon, this thing actually gets in on the spider and is at point blank range going for the tower.
right. Oh, hello. Excuse me. And opponent has spent 200 countering a threat that no longer exists,
Yep.
which is always a good feeling.
It is
I mean, I've
unfortunately
commented.
a tiny bit too slow. If it had been a second faster, it might have gotten the tower 2 seconds faster. But it
Right.
is still killing that tower fairly quickly. And now the game is looking basically like the last round. There is these Stormcallers and the Rhinos, but this time the Stormcallers are actually level 2, and they
Yeah,
do a
your
lot
level
more
2
damage.
storms. Yeah, your level 2 storms end this pretty quickly. And round. It's a very bad sign if the Fang carry player is winning on round 4. It's a build that's supposed to pop late game, not early game.
Yep. We do get
Subsidized
subsidized
Mustang.
Mustangs. Yeah, this is a pretty good thing for my opponent, not gonna lie. We
Yeah,
are also kind of lucky because, well, we have the fast here and we have the extra range. Although I have to also say, range was expensive, like very expensive.
right. Yes, it was extremely expensive. It put you behind a round on getting your forts out, or your first fort at least.
I should also mention a bit on that because I think my way to play that I have done so far. Oh, I see Drusky rated. Very nice. Very nice.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the raid, Pastor Drewski. How was your stream? We're recording something for YouTube, so we'll be a little uninteractive with chat for a moment.
Anyway, I was about to explain a bit how I play the Fang carry defense, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if this is the correct way. This is kinda my way, and it worked pretty well, so I assume it is the correct way, but I don't know.
Right.
What I do is I try to basically commit into Fangs for as many rounds as it is reasonably sustainable, and until I find
Mm-hmm.
out which unit is going to work best alongside the Fangs. This time I've chosen fortresses. I have also chosen hackers. I have also chosen some scorpions. It basically is a sort of blank spot. You go into hackers, you
Right.
look at what your opponent does, and once you know what they are doing, which units they are committing into, or which units they have committed into, even if it's only a lot of deployments that you can't easily get rid of, then you know what unit you have to add on in order to squish the entire opponent army. And knowing
Right.
which unit to add on is probably one of the most vital things here that I am still very much so learning myself. The Rhino is definitely losing against this fortress, and that thing is standing so tall against the Mustangs. But I was also very worried that my opponent would just commit into Mustang Melter, which is an absolutely
Mm-hmm.
insanely powerful unit composition for those who may not know. And Mustang Melter can ruin a lot of games for you if you do not
Right.
watch out for it.
He is running Missile Interceptor, which would help him against both Stormcallers and our. We have Fort Rocket Punch. And if you don't know, Rocket Punch is a missile. You can shoot it down. It's tough to hit. So is the missile off of the Farseer, but both of them can be shot down. The way that Bearlike has explained missiles, they're actually have hit points. So different missiles of different types have more hit points, essentially. So the more anti-missile shots that are at them, the quicker they go down. Till does get his melting
Yep,
points.
that is actually a very lucky drop, I have to admit. I'm also going for the
Mm-hmm.
melter, but I sell it. I am trying, this is really just me going for the limits of what is possible. I'm trying to fang this and see if I can match all of these. And I also have to admit, these subsidized Mustangs with the fangs when I have the extra range of the Farseer and from the advanced aiming system, because they now have, with equal temp tower range upgrade, the exact same amount of range, which means they
Right.
should be trading at least somewhat decently into these Mustangs.
Yeah. Opponent has gotten the ultimate drops for a opposition to Fang Fort, right? They've gotten subsidized Mustang and a Melter drop, so they got the Mustang on or the Melter unlock for free, and you still have a great answer because we have the advanced aiming system from earlier. We've got the Farseer. You just took the search radar range, um, so we actually do have the 135. 135. It's showing as 125. I'm mousing over, but it'll be 135 as soon as the round starts because of the Farseer. There
Yeah.
you go. Now it's now it's 135. Yeah.